We're back. This is Robert Klein, and to my left is Chris Christopherson, and on my right is a gentleman you all know. Will you welcome Kenny Loggins? Welcome, Kenny.
Thank you.
Would you say just something more to prove you're actually here?
I'm actually here. Hello.
You know Chris, of course, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. Seen any of his work? He's excellent. You see?
I haven't really seen anything.
Sings, acts.
Did you know, if I can interrupt you
Please,
for a second?
please.
Did you know, I don't know if you heard about it, but we got a call from Playgirl magazine. They wanted to do a double spread on you and I, bearded pop stars or something like that.
I won't
And,
if you won't.
Uh,
All right.
well, I heard about your problem.
Well, you know.
What was that? Was that the old lady?
That was the, yeah, oh yeah.
Well, Burt Reynolds can give you some advice on that. You know, he did it.
How
he
to
said
keep
he
the
was
towel
scared to
on.
death. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Absolutely not. I've always wanted to do this with you. Please celebrate me.
Everybody!
Give me I put in other words after that. You know, I always put it there. Give me a wallet, please. A lot of things could fit in there.
Yeah?
Home for the holidays. I believe I've missed each and every face. Come on and play uneasy. Let's turn on every love light in the place. It's time I found myself totally surrounded in your circles. Oh, my friends, please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song that I'll always remember, that I can recall whenever I find myself too all alone. I can sing me home. Uneasy highway, traveling where the westerly winds can fly. Somebody tried to tell me, but the man forgot to tell me why. I gotta count on being gone. Come on, mama, come on, daddy, be what you want from me. Yeah, I'm this strong, I'll be weak. Please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song that I'll always remember.
read a quote about you asked the inevitable question by journalists and stuff about your former relationship with Loggins and Messina. Anyway, that it's you have a very positive attitude about it that I like. It's no big deal. Like you felt like it's time to, you felt creatively other things. What kind of things when you do so well together like that and then so well apart, so well certainly in yourself? What kind of things govern that? Did you both feel it mutually? And
Well, I think breaking up in a successful duo, especially the kind that Jimmy and I had, is probably very akin to breaking up a marriage. That we were, when we were really hot. Excuse me?
all right.
I didn't mean that. No.
I dropped my pencil. Those of you listening at home.
No, but seriously.
Yeah.
That there are a lot of things, and especially it's almost like war buddies. There's a lot of things that you've gone through together, and you're still very tight. But Jimmy and I always had a situation where he had all his separate contracts, separate management, separate record company. I had all my things were separate. So we used to tell the press that we weren't married, we were just living together. And it made it a way that when the time came, it was inevitable. We knew from the beginning that we were both soloists and that sooner or later we would go our separate ways. And one day Jimmy looked at me and he said, if we continue on doing what we're doing, we're going to hate each other within a year. So I realized at that moment that he was right. So we decided to leave it at a peak while we still liked each other and things were still going well and just go on.
Do you think that being a telecommunications major at Pasadena City College helped you?
Did you do your homework, did you? Did it
What
help
is a
you?
telecommunications major?
Radio and TV announcing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Well, the key was that one day I realized while I was cutting classes, driving around PCC, getting stoned with my buddies, that I wasn't.
Hey, come on now.
Well, you can edit it.
There's no statute of limitations on that. You could be arrested. Go ahead.
That's tradition. But I realized at the time that I was spending about 90% of my time working on something to fall back on, and very little of my time doing what I wanted to do. And so I decided that at that time I would turn it around and drop out of school and do what I wanted to do and give myself a chance.
Drop.
Boy, you
out of
just
school.
wiped out about half the school population.
I know. I know, absolutely.
Quit now. You become Kenny Loggins. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Send for your Kenny Loggins kit.
Yes. It's available through this station.
He reads music by the colors: orange, blue, purple.
You
The
laugh.
Kenny Loggins Large Color Songbook.
Gee, Dad, it's a wordless song.
Yeah, but it's not that simple, is it? I of course, I believe that people should follow their
Hearts.
their hearts that way. I believe that there are certain things one must discipline themselves for and work. This new album is called Keep the Fire, isn't it?
Yes,
the
it is.
third solo album. First two have only sold 4 trillion. You've done well on your own. This is more of a little more rock than the last one. The last one was more jazz oriented in a general way.
In
huh?
a very general way.
Producers, no doubt, right?
Yeah, the producer of the Night Watch album was a fellow named Bob James, who is real big right now in jazz circles.
Yeah.
And I felt that what Bob brought to the music was very important for that period of my life. And then when I went on to Keep the Fire, the new album, I decided that to bring in a producer named Tommy Dowd, who produces the Allman Brothers, Rod Stewart, and he did Leonard Skinner. He did Aretha Franklin in her golden days, and he even produced the Coasters records in his office at the beginning. And he knows how to make a rock and roll record. And I felt that his groove-oriented consciousness, that's slightly above God consciousness.
What is that? Groove consciousness.
Groove? It's a state of, it's an Indian philosophy. I don't want to get into it.
No, I mean serious. Groove meaning the record.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're being serious.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, man. You see, that's the trouble with
Being a comedian, I'm never sure.
No. Well, of course, you began our.
You know,
we shook hands
slice
outside. You
yourself
said you
over
loved
there.
Class Clown, and I was ready to punch your nose. But
I know, I could tell.
no, I am serious. You mean groove consciousness, meaning what should go down in those grooves, right?
Right. Well, not
about the
in
needle?
What I
That's
mean
one
when
thing
I say no, seriously, when I say groove consciousness, I don't mean in the grooves of the record. I mean the groove of the music. That a jazz player would be more concerned about the combination of instruments, the separation of instruments, and the mood. A rock musician is more concerned with you get the 2/4, what brings all countries together, and you hold on to it. you grab a hold of the groove
Mm-hmm.
and you hold on to it and you drive it home. And he would set up microphones in the room at the ceiling so that the leakage from the drums, in other words, the ambient sound from the drums would permeate the record, and everything would be driving from drums and bass. And the live vocals, as much live as you can do.
Meaning live with the musicians right
With the
there.
musicians, yeah.
You know, I'm a.
So they're all going back to where he did the coasters, right in his room.
Well, you know, I
when
meant
they
to ask
had
you.
the head
Now,
leak.
next, I hope it'll cost as much as it costs to do the coasters.
Sure. When you get out a little Wallensack, hey, let's make a record.
Got a
okay.
buck?
We'll be right back after this word from Anheuser-Busch. Stay tuned.
And now back to Robert Klein and his guests Kenny Loggins and Chris Christopherson.
Hey, we're back. And, for those, remember the old test records and stereo ping pong ball? Chris Christopherson, you know, Kenny Loggins. I guess you know that. We were just talking about how in Kenny's new album, Keep the Fire, there's a lot of ambient sound, like it's right there at the time.
There have been times in my life I've been wondering why. Still somehow I believed we'd always survive. Now I'm not so sure you're waiting to hear one good reason to try. But what more can I say? What's left to provide? You think that maybe it's over, only if you want it to be. Are you gonna wait for a sign, your miracle? Stand up and fight. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. Your back's to the corner. This is it. Don't be a fool anymore. This is it. The waiting is over. No room to run. No way to hide. No time for wondering why. It's here. The moment is now. About to decide. Let him believe, leave him behind, but keep me near in your heart. No, whatever you do, I'm here by your side. You said that maybe it's over, not if you don't want it to be. For once in your life, here's your miracle. Stand up and fight. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. You're going no further. This is it. Until it's all abandoned. No one can tell you for you who makes the choice of how it goes. It's not up to me this time. You know, comes a day in every life. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. You're going no further. This is it. Until it's over and done. This is it. One way or another. This is it. No one can tell what the future is. Your back's to the corner. This is it. You make the choice of how this is it. The waiting is over. This is it. No one can tell what the future is. You're going no further. This is it. You make the
I listen to a lot of records, pop records, and I can kind of tell that the sax player came in on Tuesday and the drummer was there on Wednesday, and they never did this together.
Especially now, there's been kind of a movement I think spearheaded by the disco sound, to become.
Watch your language there, okay? As a matter of fact, I accuse you of being slightly danceable. Okay, Kenny, I'm sorry. Junkanoo,
I'm sorry
is
if
that
you
that
can
one?
Move your body to it.
I was
have
doing
to
the mambo to it
apologize.
for hours listening to it. I'm afraid.
Listen, some of my best friends like disco. It's
Okay, okay. If you want to come clean and admit it. Do you have any sanctimonious feelings about that, by the way?
No, they ask me that a lot, and I
Yeah.
consider disco to be dynamic in music. It's no more than a rhythm, a groove, if you will,
Yes.
and a dynamic.
Chris, do you feel that way? Or, I mean,
I feel like Burt Reynolds in that movie. He's Starting Over,
yeah.
where Candice Bergen wanted to be the disco singer. You seen it? It's very funny.
Well, how is
feel
that?
like?
Is that how
How
did
did
you
he
feel?
feel?
with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. He felt sort of like the only civilian in the Star Wars bar where all the
Yeah, I feel a little like when My Sharona came out. I told a friend of mine that I felt a little like maybe James Darren felt when the Beatles came out.
Good
Yeah,
for
but you guys,
That's
you guys are
humble.
poets, and no one normally when disco's written, it doesn't have much poetry. I think that can be. It's like primitive art and more complicated art. I mean, it is a groove, but nothing more. Just a rhythm. There's no cleverness. There's no subtlety.
Not necessarily. There's some
Is that-
great disco being made right now. Michael Jackson is making some great danceable disco. Well, they call it dance music now. They're trying
That
to
kid
take
can. Those
music.
kids can really dance. I saw them the
Oh,
other day.
he's fantastic.
I lost track of them. These guys can dance.
He's talking about the Jacksons.
The Jacksons.
He doesn't necessarily mean those people. Yeah, covered for you there.
Are you kidding?
Of course they can.
Oh. Hungarians are known for their dance. No, I mean the Jacksons. I meant the Jacksons. No.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
How does someone be born in Everett, Washington?
You may not recover from this one.
What is Everett, Washington? It sounds so sweet there. And here's the paper, Mom. I mean, it sounds like such an
Yeah,
easy day.
it's a real. I was brought up by a proxy, Ozzie and Harriet.
What did, if I'm not intruding, because Chris's dad was a general in the Army, what did your dad do?
My dad was a little less glamorous than that. He was a salesman.
Mine too.
Yeah, he sold things. One of my favorite things that he sold was a camera that you couldn't get film for. I like that a lot.
You call
I've
that a
always respected
salesman?
him for that. If you can sell a camera you can't get film for, you're a salesman.
Yes,
He sold home personal saunas.
Really?
Yes, the little boxes that you get in where your head sticks out.
Right. And a bit. You go in Jackie Gleason and you come out Arnold Stang.
I'll tell you, and I don't mean to sound like I'm knocking him because he was a very creative man, and in any field, in anything, no matter how crazy or funny that it was that he was selling,
Yeah.
from insurance through used cars, through costume jewelry, through the things that he did, he was always the best. And that, I think, stuck with me more than anything, that he had a philosophy that if it wasn't right, fix it. If you didn't feel good about it, change it. And that stuck with me, and I have to respect the man for that.
Yeah. That's a nice tribute to him.
What was it? You or Jimmy that was related to Barry Sullivan?
My wife asked me the same thing the other
Barry Sullivan, the older actor. Even the Irish- Yeah.
Jimmy is related to Barry Sullivan.
Because he used to tell me about you guys practicing or something in his basement or something.
We worked up the Sittin' In album and the second album in his pool house.
He has a great voice.
Oh, he has a wonderful voice.
New York
Yeah.
accent.
I wanted to put his voice on tape for the new show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Kenny Loggins Band. You know, just have this resonant thing flow.
You went to
over
parochial
me.
school most of your childhood, didn't you?
Yes, I did. 12 years of parochial school.
In
But
the
I'm
end-
still recovering.
How do you evaluate it at the end? Would you have preferred not to now?
Oh boy, it's hard to tell,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't know what I would have done had I not done that. But I know that the education, I had a couple of good priests in high school that were excellent teachers, and so I have to say that I appreciated what they did for me and how they prepared me. What I liked about them was they were completely crazy, and so strict that you'd go in there. I had one teacher that I would lose weight during class every time. Everybody would sweat. If he called on you, he would tear you apart verbally. But his wit was so great. He was so fast, and he was so caustic. I remember one of the kids stood up and he said, Father, couldn't you give us something more intellectual to read instead of, Tale of Two Cities or something? He said, all right, Yahoo, you boob. He says, I think I'll give you some Sanskrit. Sit down. One of those. It was a very strict school.
That fellow that we were doing the interviews with yesterday, he went in right after I did, was an ex-priest who was married to an ex-nun.
I didn't know he was married to
You
an
have two kids who are
ex-nun.
ex-altar boys.
Here's one for the razor blade. What kind of
Everything they
priest?
do is X. Everything they do is X. We'll be right back with more of this Folderol and Janice Ian after this word from Anheuser-Busch. Don't go away, okay?